Well, there we go. Okay, good evening again. Welcome. My name is Elena Jordan, and if you're joining us from Asia, good evening. If you're joining us from the United States, good morning. And if you're calling from, dialing anywhere from Europe, good afternoon. I hope this is a wonderful day for you. Monday, the 15th of May. Today we're talking about hands, feet, and nails. A very sort of easy topic, but one can be kind of tricky. And I think doTERRA offers us a lot of options for keeping healthy in that regard. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And this actually is a wonderful topic for today because I want to wish everybody, first of all, a happy Mother's Day. Whether you are a mom or you are celebrating with your mom or your wife or your girlfriend or your daughter, if you are a stepmom or a godmother or you were a mother or like a mother to someone, I want to celebrate you and say thank you so much for all that you do. If you were celebrating with your mom, or your mom has passed on perhaps, please know that I'm sending you a lot of blessings and good wishes. I hope that your day yesterday was magical. I was actually celebrating with my family, with my mother and with my children, and we were just doing sort of a simple day here at home, but really nice. We actually had a pouring rainy day with a lot of wind, so windy actually that a tree fell on our house. We were very lucky, actually. It only broke one window and smashed our air conditioning units. But the chimney we have a chimney on our house, and it mostly fell on the chimney. And thankfully, no one was hurt. But there's kind of a funny looking mess on the side of our house today. So we're feeling very blessed that we are moving on, and sometimes things happen to us that we have to take care of right away, and can't always be helped with essential oils, although I have to say I put a few essential oils on to stay calm once the tree came down because it was quite a surprise. So happy Mother's Day to all of you and to all of you who are celebrating or those who are celebrating with. So today we're talking about healthy feet, hands, and nails. I love this picture because it basically shows healthy hands and nails at every age, and whether you are a man or a woman or you're a child or you have some children that you're working with, the doTERRA products are terrific for all members of the family. So number one, I want to mention that the ideas expressed today are contained in the book, Essential Oils Healthcare for Today, A Beginner's Guide. Whether you are a beginner or you are working with a beginner, it's an easy way for you to get started working with essential oils. I love this book because it covers each issue on 2 pages. And you're able to easily see the recommendations for the next 90 days. It's being called the Loyal to Rewards Program book because it can help you to think up ideas for yourself or people that you're sharing with. We don't always have creative ideas. Sometimes we get stuck. I know some people will text me sometimes and say, hey, I'm in a meeting and I don't know what to say. What should I do? Well, hopefully you'll have a book like this with you. There are many, many wonderful books and online resources. This is just one of many, but I wanted you to know where the ideas are contained. I'm actually going to shrink this down a little bit. There we go. Okay. And let's get going. Okay, so thank you, of course, to our Blue Diamond team. If I haven't met you before, my name is Elena Jordan. I want to thank our Rising Blue Diamonds, Elizabeth Ho, Hong and Shu Lee, Sang Lee, Wen Wei, and Lorinda Walker. Our Rising Diamonds, Karen Johnson and Kat, Sri Malati, and Denise Schwendeman. And our Rising Platinums, Joyce Lynn, Si Hun, Sandra, Bean Hu, Nicole, Heather, and David. And our Rising Golds, Melanie, Sarita, Bryce, Kakeng, Joyce, Sun Kun, Marie, Jeng Jeng, Agnes, Lydia, Wei, Yok Mei, Anne, Sylvia, Lauda, Kathleen, Lee Vern, Pui Hoon, Carmen, Shirley, Alan, Joyce Lynn, Telia, Vinci, and Michelle Young. Thank you so much for working together with us every day to spread the word of doTERRA and also the empowerment of natural health. I think it's really important as we go out on our journey, as we share with others, we think about empowering them and really offering them hope for good health in a new way. So this is actually a picture of a woman who has beautiful feet and nails. I have to say I have healthy feet and nails, but not quite as beautiful as this. But obviously she works as a magazine model and takes very good care of her hands and nails. And I've actually met hand and foot models before, and they wear gloves and they're very careful about what they do with how they wash their hands and so on, and they don't use coarse abrasives. So it's something we want to maybe take a chapter out of their book. So let's talk first about hand and foot care for the stressed and tired. So I know sometimes many of you are on your feet during the day, you're giving classes, you're talking to people, you're doing a lot of one-on-ones, you're out there and your feet get tired. I know sometimes when I go to one of the major events, whether it's leadership or a convention, or I go to one of the regional events, by the end of the day, I don't care what type of shoes I have on, my feet are really hurting me. So being on your feet, whether you're exercising, and sometimes even mental stress, can take a toll on your extremities. And even more so when you are young, although when you're older, I think we begin to feel not only aches and pains of stress perhaps, but of maybe achiness due to arthritis or other muscular issues. Here are 2 recipes that you can use every day or actually take with you, and terrific for business or professional travel. So for dry, cold, or poorly circulated feet or hands, you want to try doTERRA unscented lotion, about the size of a dime. A dime is about a half an inch. And I know for my translators out there, if you could figure out how many centimeters a half an inch is, that would be great. 3 drops of cypress, 3 drops of lavender and or frankincense, and 1 drop of cassia. And the reason you're adding the 1 drop of cassia is it's going to bring a little bit of added circulation to your feet, something that's really important, as will the cypress. So this is a terrific way for you to massage your feet. You can then put on your socks and your shoes. You can do it at the end of the day after you've ready to get into bed. But either way, this is a great way for you to refresh your feet. So if your feet are swollen, sore, or damaged in any way, many of you I know do exercise on a regular basis. Perhaps you run or do other sports. Using a small sized amount of deep blue rub, a drop of geranium, 4 drops of juniper, and 1 drop of helichrysum. This is a great way to refresh the feet, actually increase the circulation again to the same feet that are hurting. And helichrysum works as a nerve regenerator, something that's very important. We want to always keep that in mind. How many of you know somebody who is a nail biter? Now, I know many children are nail biters, but there are also adults who still bite their nails. And if you are a nail biter, this is not any way of pointing you out. I just want to help you to get some suggestions in the event that you're ready to really give up this habit. You want to make sure that you know that chewing your fingernails is not the only way to contract illnesses that are picked up by the hands, but it is a very common one as we touch different things throughout the day and then touch our hands to our mouth. We can wind up with all different sorts of things, from parasites to other illnesses, and just picking up other dirt that we really don't need to ingest as well as have on our hands. Even the simple act of scratching your skin or rubbing your eyes can transmit harmful bacteria. So if you are a nail biter, or you know a child who's a nail biter, if they're perhaps first touching something that's not clean, then touching their mouth, and then maybe rubbing their eyes, they're spreading that same bacteria that is not positive to other areas of their body. Of course, to minimize the risk of exposure to bacteria, you want to be sure you wash your hands after sneezing, before eating, and after using the bathroom. What I like about Melaleuca specifically for the nails is that not only will it strengthen the nails, it will help to clear up any, it has kind of a not pleasant taste, at least for children, and but is not harmful. And the other thing that I love about Melaleuca is that if you do happen to touch other areas of the body, it won't burn or sting. Now, I wouldn't recommend putting Melaleuca in your eyes, of course. So if a child were to touch their eyes with Melaleuca, Melaleuca, that would not be pleasant. But what I like about Melaleuca is when it strengthens the nails, it may actually make them harder to bite, so that the child is really dissuaded from chomping down on something that's actually gotten fairly strong. You want to feed your feet, hands, and nails from the inside. So the key to adding moisture and youthfulness to your skin is to get fatty acids inside of your cells, fat specifically. Our essential oil line, the X or V, are healthy, natural, easily absorbable fat and essential oil combinations. The essential oils increase the processing of the fat in the cell, which is called lipid permeability. Most of us are starved for healthy fats, which, by the way, also helps keep us stay thin and healthy in our proper way. Mito to max ignites the powerhouse of the cell and carries the fat into the cell for processing, keeping your skin vibrant and young. In addition to having fabulous feet, hands, and nails, this magic combination will make your skin glow and make you feel happy and energized. And I will say, this is the combination that I take. I also take Microplex VMZ or MVP. Some of you are taking either one. So I'm taking a multivitamin, I'm taking an essential oil complex, and the Mito to Max. And for me, that seems to work very well. And I've had a lot of events lately, so I've had to stay out late. I've had house guests, Mother's Day, all different sorts of things. My daughter is graduating from high school, so we've had prom. And it's been a very busy time. And yet, interestingly enough, wherever I go, people say to me, your skin looks terrific. And I want to say that this is a great combination for me that's really helping me to stay fresh and youthful looking. Let's talk a little bit about hand washing. When you're washing your hands, you want to follow these simple guidelines. You want to use water that's hot, but not too hot, as it can damage or irritate the skin. You want to wash your hands using soap or a general cleaner, preferably one low in alcohol, and lather for 15 to 20 seconds. So that's lather. Now, I've heard it said that if you sing the tune Happy Birthday to you, all the way to the end, it will be about 20 seconds. So especially when you know you've touched something that maybe really needs cleansing, things like if you've been gardening or working outdoors or maybe doing some cleaning or construction work in your house, you want to make sure that you're really lathering. Don't neglect the area under the fingernails and between each fingers when washing your hands. Also wash up to the elbow, that no germs on the arms later come in contact with the hands. Washing up to the elbow may not be practical, but you may want to do it at the end of the day, just to your final routine. If you're not showering or bathing completely at the end of the day, it's a great way to kind of clean your arms and then get yourself into bed. If your arms are dirty and then you put them under your head before you go to sleep, you're really not going to have as restful sleep as if you were able to wash your hands thoroughly. And finally, after you finish lathering your hands and arms, rinse them off with warm water and dab them dry with a soft towel or an air drying device. For the protection of your skin, avoid rubbing them too vigorously with a towel. I will tell you, in our house, at least in one of the bathrooms in our house, we keep paper towels. And part of the reason for that is my kids, especially when they were young, would come in with all different sorts of germs. They wouldn't wash their hands properly, and then they would wipe the dirty hands on the towel, leaving all the stinky germs, and I could see the dirt streaks right on the towel. Now, you could say at least the dirt was coming off, but I also felt like the germs were going on there too, and the next person would use them. So we started using paper towels, not every day, but frequently in the main bathroom in our house. And I have to say, it's brought down the number of illnesses that we have had because each person uses their own paper towel. Now, I know in terms of our world and our recycling, you want to make sure that you're using maybe a recycled paper towel, which I do. I use brown paper towels. And while they're not beautiful, and I usually put them away when I'm having company, it's really saved our family a lot of illnesses, I believe, because we've been able to keep down the number of germs. Okay, let's talk about toenail fungus. Now, this is a tricky one, folks. Toenail fungus is one of those things that can be very, very persistent and difficult to rid ourselves of. While it is not painful, it can be unsightly and can take months, literally the entire growth cycle of a toenail, which can be up to 9 months to actually rid ourselves of the toenail fungus. My mother actually, who's 87, developed a toenail fungus about a year ago, was not really sure what it was. Finally, it was diagnosed, and she has begun to apply this mixture every single night. Now, in her particular case, she doesn't love the roll-on. She says she finds more control just dripping the oils onto her hands. But what I did was I took 20 drops of melaleuca, 20 drops of arbor vitae, 20 drops of oregano, and mix them in fractionated coconut oil, and then filled up the rest of the bottle, and a 15 milliliter bottle with fractionated coconut oil, an empty one that I had. The other option that you could do is one entire 15 milliliter bottle of melaleuca, one entire bottle of oregano, 2 bottles of arbor vitae, which would mean 10 milliliters of arbor vitae, and then mix the whole thing with an entire bottle of fractionated coconut oil. Why would you want to do such a huge amount of oils? It seems crazy. If you realize that you're going to be using this on all 10 toes for an entire year, you're going to need a lot. And what I don't love about the roll-ons, especially with toenail fungus, is that you're basically reapplying onto the toenail and then allowing maybe even a tiny fungal spore to be left on the top of the roller ball. I'd rather have you drip it on, but if for convenience, if you need the roller ball, you can always roll it onto the toe and then apply it with your finger. But this is a wonderful recipe and really works. Okay, let's talk a little bit about fractionated coconut oil. It is one of the best things for your skin. I use it almost every day, and I alternate it with other things, adding and subtracting. So 15 uses for coconut oil, and actually this comes from the magazine, the Spring 2016 Living Magazine. And I'm only going to talk about numbers 4, 5, and 6 because I think those are the ones that pertain to us today. But for foot care, you want to mix with lavender and massage into your heels and feet. As a skin softener, you would like to add it to a warm bath or with essential oils, or use as an after shower moisturizer. And for nail care, you can apply it to dry cuticles before or after a manicure. With fractionated coconut oil, it's used widely in the preparation of soaps, ointments, lotions, and other cosmetics. It is used medicinally quite frequently due to its antiseptic properties. It is a component of many hair care products, and it's used in aromatherapy. You can use it in cooking, although I have to say fractionated coconut oil I don't usually use for cooking. I use the coconut oil, the organic raw coconut oil that I get from my health food store or from my supermarket, my healthy supermarket. And the reason it helps us, why fractionated coconut helps us, is its components of capric and caprylic acids, which are wonderful for the skin. And last but not least, it is cost effective because of its long shelf life, stability, and rancidity resistance. It makes it well worth the price. So this is a product that you can basically purchase and forget and pick it up whenever you need it. And I have to say, I have a bottle of fractionated coconut oil that I just found hidden, an open one, in the back of one of my cabinets, and it was absolutely fine. It smelled perfectly beautifully and had the same consistency. Nothing happened to it, and it really was perfect. So fractionated coconut oil, as we know, is the coconut oil with specific components removed in a non-chemical fractionating process. And those are just the components that cause it to be solid at room temperature and be susceptible to oxidation. So the resulting substance is liquid at room temperature and extremely stable. Number of advantages over white whole coconut oil. First of all, the shelf life. And secondly, it can withstand light and high heat without going rancid. It's lighter, non-greasy, and has a greater cleansing effect on the skin, making popular as a carrier for essential oils and a base for a variety of skincare products. I have to say, one of the other things you can do is you can use fractionated coconut oil to remove, ladies, to remove persistent makeup. I know sometimes my daughter has a theater production, or she has a dance recital, and then we go to take off the thick makeup, and it will not come off with the regular makeup remover. Fractionated coconut oil is a wonderful way to remove some of those more persistent makeups and cleanse the skin beautifully. Okay. Correct-X, a mama must-have. Now, I have to say, it is a mama must-have, but it's also an everybody must-have. It purifies and cleans and soothes little owies, and it helps them to heal quickly. It is petroleum-free, preservative-free, promotes healthy skin, soothes and protects. And it has a group of ingredients, which I realize now this came out a little bit smudged, so I'm going to show them to you on the next page. Correct-X uses and benefits include soothing and purifying the skin with frankincense, helichrysum, melaleuca, cedarwood, and lavender. Bisabolol is known for its calming effects and ability to promote healthy-looking skin. Jojoba, which is similar to the natural oils found in skin, provides optimal hydration and helps to improve the texture of skin. And finally, philodendron amorous bark extract is used to condition the skin. So this little tube is one of those things where I feel like you can't live without it. And whether you're applying it to your cuticles when they're dry, or you're applying it on a recent cut or burn, to help with healing, it is a magical product. If you are in the habit of using traditional antibacterial ointments in also small tubes, I would encourage you to use this as a replacement. In general, we don't want to use antibacterials unless we need them. If you become very ill and you have to go to the hospital, or a doctor prescribes antibacterials or antibiotics for you, you want your body to respond appropriately. But if you're in the habit of using antibacterials on a regular basis, whether it's in soap or lotions or other sorts of creams or anything else, your body's resistance is going to be less, your body's response is going to be less pronounced when it does encounter that type of medicine that it needs. So make the switch. It is a small tube, but super powerful, and a little goes a long way. So I've had, since it came out, I think a year and a half ago, only about 3 or 4 tubes, and we use it on a family of 5, and I'm always encouraging my family to pick the Correct-X in case they have any sort of issue with their skin. Okay, let's talk a little bit about sandalwood. Sandalwood actually comes in 2 different types. I'm going to talk about Hawaiian sandalwood first and explain maybe a little bit of the difference and the benefits to our traditional sandalwood, which comes from India. So Santalum paniculatum comes from the wood of the plant, as does the other sandalwood, and it is extracted by steam distillation. But Hawaiian sandalwood has almost a rich honey and sweet smell to it. It still smells like sandalwood, but it's a little bit sweeter. You can diffuse it in a water diffuser, apply it to the neck and shoulders at bedtime for restful night's sleep, and apply it to your skin the day before a big photo shoot or presentation, and you can add it to shampoo to improve the look of your hair. Sandalwood has traditionally been used in beauty products and soaps throughout really millennia, as a way to improve the skin's texture and tone, and also to smooth it. It is a terrific aromatic or topical use for the feet, hands, and nails. You might actually add a little bit into your unscented moisturizer for a lovely sandalwood lotion. So let's talk a little bit about the Indian sandalwood, Santalum album. As I said, it is also distilled from the wood. The extraction method is steam distillation, but the aroma is different. It's more woody, drier, and a little bit less sweet. Again, it can promote healthy looking smooth skin and reduce the appearance of skin imperfections. It can enhance mood and frequently is used in meditation for its grounding and uplifting properties. You want to apply 1 to 2 drops to wet hair to help restore moisture and give hair a silky shine. So when we're talking about sandalwood, this is really the traditional sandalwood that we've all grown up with. My grandmother used Indian sandalwood, whether it was in different cosmetic mixtures that she made herself or in soaps, and Indian sandalwood has been around really for centuries. Hawaiian sandalwood is relatively new on the scene, and I don't know exactly what's going on with the distillation. I know we had had a blip in the distillation at one point because we were trying to work with the growers there, and the gentleman who was helping with us with distillation had actually passed away. So if you are interested in comparing the two of them, now is your time to do it. You want to make sure that you're specifying when you purchase your sandalwood which one you would prefer. Here's a shaving cream recipe from the blog. Melt 1/3 cup of shea butter and 1/3 cup virgin coconut oil. Add 1/4 cup fractionated coconut oil and 5 drops of sandalwood, peppermint, and melaleuca essential oil. Whip until light and fluffy. And I will tell you, if you do not whip it, it will turn into a rock. So make sure that you whip it either in an electric mixer, maybe even a blender you could probably use to whip it up. Make sure it's tightly covered as you're whipping it, but that's a great way to protect the skin. Okay, here's an interesting fact that I think I mentioned on this blog, but on this web chat, but I don't know if you really heard it lately. Smell it well is one of the oldest human faculties. It was one of the last to be understood by scientists. Not until the early 1990s that biologists first described the inner workings of olfactory receptors, the chemical sensors in our noses, in a discovery that won a Nobel Prize. Since then, the plot has thickened, however. Over the last decade or so, scientists have discovered that odor receptors are not solely confined to the nose, but found throughout the body, in the liver, the heart, the kidneys, and even sperm, where they play a pivotal role in a host of physiological functions. Now, a team of biologists at Ruhr University in Germany has found that our skin is bristling with olfactory receptors. More than 15 of the olfactory receptors that exist in the nose are also found in human skin cells, said the lead researcher, Dr. Hott. Not only that, but exposing one of these receptors, colorfully named OR2 or TUAT4, to a synthetic sandalwood odor known as sandalore, sets off a cascade of molecular signals that appears to induce healing in injured tissue. So what does that mean for us? As essential oil users, as we apply essential oil to the skin, not only are we healing ourselves by the simple action of applying it, we're applying it because those olfactory receptors are getting back to our brain through our skin or wherever else we're applying the essential oils. So the body, as always, is a magical creation. And our God-given ability to really incorporate the essential oils on so many different levels is so very powerful. And this really is just a reinforcement of the fact that we know that there's so many things that we do not yet know about the body, and this is just one of them that's been recently discovered. I like the idea that not only can I smell with my nose, but I can smell with my liver, my heart, even my knee, any part of my body that I'm applying essential oils, and I'm getting wonderful benefits. Which is why, as you have heard, that when we apply essential oils to other parts of our body, whether it be the soles of our feet or the back of our neck, we're actually receiving benefits, which is why things like the aroma touch are so important and can be really very beneficial to our health. Despite the fact we may not actually be touching the area that in question where we need healing. So let's talk about a 90-day plan. Month 1, I would talk about trying the LLV, the On Guard Foaming Hand Wash. Month 2, the LLV, again, fractionated coconut oil, melaleuca, and arbor vitae. I realized that in month 3, I didn't put in my Toenail Max, but I would like to. I love this kind of rotating through, taking the LLV every month to support the entire body, and then adding in additional products as needed so that you can begin to heal your skin, hair, and nails. So that's my presentation for today. I'm going to open it up to any questions. I know there's usually a few questions. Actually, I'm going to stop the share. Whoops. There we go. Let me open up the chat. So number 1 is, how many of you have used essential oils for your feet, hands, or nails? You want to just give me a quick hands up, or you can put a hand up in the chat, whatever you like, whatever is easier for you. Just a quick one. Oh, not too many of you. Okay. Not specifically, perhaps. A couple. All right, I'm seeing a few more hands. Here's the other thing. Men versus women, or maybe adults versus children. If you're a lady, is it something that you incorporate into your routine on a daily basis? Or you're doing it just infrequently? So for me, at least, I'm incorporating essential oils into my daily routine for beauty, and mostly for my feet. I feel my feet get really dry on a regular basis. One thing that I would like to include in is perhaps some more sandalwood into my foot routine. I may take the unscented doTERRA lotion, add a drop of sandalwood, whether it's the traditional or the Indian, traditional or the Hawaiian, whichever one I happen to have, and really massage my feet and add that into my routine. I feel like it would be very relaxing. It's also going to be very healing and moisturizing to my feet. The weather here is getting better. For those of you who are in Asia, you have the benefit of always having beautiful weather, except perhaps for some days of rain, but you never have cold or snow where you have to be in coats and boots. But at least where I am, there's a whole time of year where my feet are completely covered. When I uncover my feet come the spring and the summer, that's when I have the big shock and think, oh my, that's really looking terrible. So I want to make sure that I'm increasing my beauty routine so nobody sees my feet in flip-flops or sandals and says, she should put her boots back on. So gentlemen, consider using sandalwood on your after shaving, as mentioned, or using it as a shaving cream. Sandalwood can be very soothing to the skin, especially if you frequently have razor burn. And it's been used, as we know, throughout history in traditional cultures as a way to smooth the skin, to beautify the skin. In Indian cultures, I know in Latin American culture, we use sandalwood quite a bit. There are a lot of sandalwood soaps, so this is a great thing for you to kind of keep in mind. And while sandalwood is a relatively expensive oil, a little goes a long way. So even if you're diffusing in a water-based diffuser, and that's what I would recommend for sandalwood, you could probably add 1 to 2 drops each time you're diffusing. So you're figuring maybe a drop or 2 a day. And on the long run, that's a wonderful way to use your sandalwood and incorporate it into your routine. It is very relaxing and soothing, and something that I think if you haven't tried it before, you may want to try it. Now, next question. How many of you have tried the traditional sandalwood? Give me a hands up. And how many have tried the Hawaiian sandalwood? Give me a hands up. Traditional versus Hawaiian. And anybody have any preferences? Any preferences? I have to tell you, for me personally, I like the Hawaiian. It's a little sweeter, as I mentioned. And if you can get the 2 bottles side by side, you'll be able to see the difference in the 2 oils really easily. So I want to thank everyone who's been on the call. As you know, we always give away 2 oils on a weekly basis. And I actually have a question for you. Hold on, I'm going to type in my response, because you know me, I have to get this down. And I'm actually looking for. So our two winners today are Caroline Koo and Telia Toe. You are the winners of a Melaleuca roll-on. Caroline Koo and Telia Toe, thank you so much for being on the call today. I also have a question for all of you. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had someone on the call whose name on the participants came up as Smurf Sam, and we cannot find Smurf Sam, and he did win a prize. So if anybody has any idea who Smurf Sam is, if you could either send me, I know it's kind of a funny name, if you could send me, and I have to say I pick these randomly based on the number of people and the placement. That's how I have a quick algorithm that I do, which I can explain to you at another time. But Smurf Sam won something, and nobody seems to know who he is. So if you happen to find out who Smurf Sam, Smurf Sam is online now. Smurf Sam, who are you? Smurf Sam, where are you? Smurf Sam, if you could reveal yourself to us and tell us who you are, this would be a great, there you are. Okay. I am Sam, Thomas Mack's friend. Okay, Sam, if you could tell us your last name, that would be really good. I'd love for you to win your prize. And Brenda Young says, sandalwood from India is more suitable for Malaysian. Interesting. Sam Lowe. Thank you, Sam Lowe. I really appreciate it. Interesting. I guess because India is closer to Malaysia, you feel it's more suitable for that area. It also may be more prevalent, maybe more beneficial to your skin. I've used both interchangeably, and I have to say I get very good results with both. I just like the smell of the Hawaiian a little bit more. I think they are priced the same way, at least they are, I believe, in the United States. So either one really is fine to be used. So next week, we're going to be talking about fevers. Fevers, extremely important, especially for moms with young kids or anybody who's been hospitalized. I want you to please spread the word. This is a really important presentation that we're going to be doing. We will be back here on the 22nd of May, I believe it is. That's next Monday. And we're going to only have about 3 more presentations after that. And then I'm going to be taking a break because I'm actually going to be coming over to see you. So, and if I'm not here, I may actually be able to have someone substitute for me, but we're going to see what's going on. In the meantime, please spread the word that next week is going to be fevers. Is there any findings to consume essential oils? Yes, Benjamin, there are. And I don't know who your upline is, but there's some wonderful articles actually that were written by Dr. David Hill, and they're usually contained in the Living magazine, the quarterly Living magazine. So if you Google Living magazine doTERRA, consuming essential oils, you'll find the information. And yes, the fever topic will include fevers for kids too. So fevers for next week, please send the word to all your moms. I want to make sure that you are